Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
no matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
will place economic stability and confidence.
The content is at top of the news of this minister and the president.
Give us access to our money in the chance.
As always said, there are two sides of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
Good morning and welcome to Open Air on Atlantic Television Network. Open Air is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impacts to the society. Today on Open Air, we'll look at the stories. First, Rivers crisis. Court reserves judgments in suits to stop FAC allocations. Still on River State, PDP group slams Fubara warns Ugochinyere of meddling. On Abia State, our court order stopping congresses still supersedes, court says. And on to Anambra State, Bianca Ojukwu's appointment anti-party, Anambra APC says. On Benue State, APC moves to reconcile aggrieved members. On Kano local government polls, APC declares elections illegal, cites subsisting court order. And on PDP, Atiku denies involvement in party crisis. Then finally, Ndume asks Tinubu to sack more ministers. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go away.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act, I call for critical release of this minister and the government.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
has always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Air this morning is a regular on the show, Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, a political analyst. Good morning, Ugochukwu, and welcome to Open Air.
Good morning, Laurentia. Good morning, Rivers people. Good morning, Nigerians. And I'm glad to be here on a Sunday to talk Nigeria. We will not be tired of talking about Nigeria, and we are happy that our daddy had my welcome message to him, and he came back after his 2-week break to come and give us the renewed hope.
Who is our daddy? What do you mean by that?
The president of Nigeria.
Your daddy.
And the father of Nigeria, the first citizen.
All right.
And we are happy that he's hearkening to the voice of reason.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, by the way, when you say our daddy, I take exception. My father is alive. I have one dad.
Well, he's our
I have one dad. He's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And on to the story. Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday reserved judgment in a suit seeking to stop the release of federal allocations to the Rivers State government. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik reserved judgment after all parties had argued for and against the originating summons filed by Rivers State House of Assembly led by Right Honorable Martins Amehule. The plaintiffs predicated their case on the grounds that the Rivers State Executive was yet to comply with the order of a federal high court directing it to represent the 2024 appropriation bill to the Amehule-led faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly. It will be recalled that Justice James Omotosho of a federal high court had in a judgment delivered earlier in the year faulted Governor Simlaye Fubara for presenting the state appropriation before the 4-member assembly led by Right Honorable Edison Ehe. Justice Omotosho ordered Governor Fubara to represent the appropriation bill to the Rivers State House of Assembly led by Martins Amehule. In view of Fubara's refusal, Amehule approached the High Court to stop further release of federal allocations to the state until the judgment of the court was complied with. But the Central Bank of Nigeria, listed as first defendant, urged the court to dismiss the suit for being frivolous and that the said judgment of Justice Omotosho is already a subject of appeal at the Supreme Court. The Rivers State Accountant General had filed a motion on notice where he accused Justice Abdulmalik of bias against his office and other defendants in the suit. Represented by Tuturu Edem, SAN, the Accountant General faulted the manner the judge had been conducting the proceedings, describing it as strange and unbelievable. The position of the Accountant General was adopted by the CBN and all other defendants. However, in her ruling, Justice Abdulmalik said that she would not recuse herself, adding that she was not biased as alleged. The judge also refused to decline jurisdiction and a request to allow the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt take over the proceedings. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik held that the territorial jurisdiction of the Federal High Court was one across the country. The judge also held that the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court has the discretion to assign any case to a judge of his choice. He therefore ordered that hearing in the substantive matter and the preliminary objections should continue. After all parties had made their submissions for and against the main suit, Justice Abdulmalik reserved her judgment for a date to be communicated to the parties. Ugochukwu, what do you make of these developments?
In interesting times in Rivers State, interesting times in Nigeria, and the Ministry of Justice, the law courts, and the Nigerian judges are on a test ride. They are also in the eye of the storm. I don't envy any judge, especially those who have been saddled with the cases emanating from Rivers State, as vis-a-vis the local government, between the local governments, between the State House of Assembly and the Rivers State executive arm. You know, it's been accusation and counter-accusation, and I don't know whom they want to, you know, handle those cases. You give it to Omotosho, delivers judgment, he's biased. Justice Lefu delivers judgment, is biased. Now the attention have shifted to Abdul Malik. I mean, what do we want as a people? Because I, who is domiciled in Rivers State, let me ask, what exactly do we want? You know, the next leg of it, people are, yesterday, Falana was accusing the same Abdul Malik to rescue herself from the state judgment, a certain judgment, and citing that the FCT minister is building houses to be allotted to judges, that it will elicit bias and sentiment. And I ask this question. Most of the judges that are functionable in Rivers State now, who appointed them, whose regime did they come and sit? You know, we know what Nyeso Wike did in terms of alleviating the plights and giving a sense to the judicial officers in Rivers State, and nobody has accused Justice Nwite and Justice Wale and some of them who has been hearing the cases on behalf of the local government and also turning out frivolous and the counter orders by court of coordinate jurisdiction in Rivers State. Nobody has accused them. The camp of Nyeso Wike have not mentioned them as people who are now, you know, being a clog in the wheel of those cases. But it beats my imagination when people begin to make unfounded accusations and allegations. Okay, if you draw this issue to the case handled by Justice Omotosho. Justice Omotosho, after looking at the case, the state executive appealed to the appeal court. And the appeal court also sat and looked at it and granted merit to what Omotosho have said. Now it is before the Supreme Court. I now ask, if Omotosho have been biased as alleged, has Wike also influenced those at the Apex Court? So these are some of the things you see in Rivers State. You begin to ask yourself, are people really following the letters of the Constitution and the fractions being put out for the public to see? Or are people beclouded by their sentiment and bias and mixing morality or whatever religious sentiment you have against the letters and the tenets of the law? These are the questions our people should begin to ask themselves. All those cases they are turning out from the camp of Amehule, and the governor's camp is appealing it. If it is unfounded, why go on appeal? Because once you appeal a judgment, that means you are in agreement and alliance with the letters that the law has pronounced, given the constitutional backing that is, surrounding whatever case that is emanating thereto. That is the way I see it. So begin to, counter accuse and mentioning names will not save this matter. Will not make the. And I'm so delighted that Justice Joyce Abdul Malik has stated it clearly, because I cite this example, Laurentia. In the United States Constitution has it that wherever the United States Embassy is, if a woman that is pregnant or somebody is running away from state authorities, and you find yourself by any means whatsoever inside the perimeters of the fencing of the United States Embassy anywhere in the world, you are protected at that moment, and the child giving birth within that periphery becomes an American citizen. be it in Afghanistan, be it in Nigeria. So the Constitution have stated that, and I bent to agree with the learned Justice Joyce, that Federal High Court anywhere is Federal High Court. It doesn't matter whether it's in Rivers State, whether it's in Zamfara or Jigawa State, it is a Federal High Court. And those justices serving under that in the name of the Federal High Court can be, assigned cases and reassigned cases, or even sent on transfer within the so-called justices of the Federal High Court, no matter where it's existing. So for somebody to come out and be saying that we know the instances where a judge can be asked to rescue him or herself from a case, but not is on these frivolous accusations that holds no water for me. Because if you say that those courts and judgments are not anything to go by, don't appeal and let us see how the person is now bigger than the constitution of the country. And for me, whatever Justice Omotosho have said in the January 2022 judgment still subsists, because it has been affirmed by the appeal court. Therefore, it has a lifeline. It has a life, and its lifeline is very potent and has the teeth to bite. And until that particular judgment is set aside, because remember, Justice Omotosho gave a judgment, substituting judgment. He didn't give an ex parte order. He didn't give an order of interlocutory injunction. But it was a judgment turned out from his temple, and the appeal court has affirmed, in without missing any words, upholding all what Justice Omotosho has laid out. And for the Martin Samehule to go to the court before Justice Joyce to ask that the funds of the River State be withheld within the time being until we have had this we have gone through the whole hog of this litigation. It is really apt, it is really timely, and though for me it is belated, because even the so-called presentation of the budget is we already seeing the tail end of 2024, but it cannot be overtaken by event. What I'm saying in effect is that the Martin Samehule and his brothers of the 27 lawmakers have the right to appeal, because Justice Omotosho, they are benching their consign and this particular case on the judgment given by Omotosho. Let us even forget about the affirmation by the appeal court. Justice Omotosho gave a clear judgment. So that is why, for me, in my own view, I'm saying that Amehule and his brothers has even taken a lot of time before approaching the court to stop all these shenanigans and all these because immediately the governor's camp appealed that particular Justice Omotosho's camp. That is when Amehule should have gone to institute a new case, asking that and drawing in all the people concerned. The Attorney General, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Accountant General of the Federation, the CBN, and the Minister of Finance. All of them should have been drawn in the case, knowing that they oversee the disbursement, and and those who are also empowered by law to take actions. That is why I mentioned the Attorney General and the Chief Justice of the Federation should have been drawn to the case. The Federal Minister of Finance, whose budget also oversees those particular codes and disbursement, should be drawn to the suit. And then let us see where the loopholes are. Okay, let me draw this an analogy. When the federal government of Nigeria during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration stopped the disbursement of the local government allocation to Lagos State, and Bola Tinubu's administration went to court, the federal government withheld that particular allocation until the Supreme Court made the pronouncement. They did not wait until the Supreme Court made the pronouncement before they withheld. Rather, after the litigation, they now obeyed the Supreme Court judgment. So, in my view, when Justice Omotosho have made that particular judgment and pronouncement, the federal government, those saddled with the responsibility of disbursement of that fund, would have stopped it until the litigations all those appeals are had. All those appeals, and then waiting to the up to the Supreme Court. Let us know that as soon as the Supreme Court pronounced that it is wrong.
No, the judgment did not. The judgment of Justice Omotosho did not order these bodies to stop payment of allocation. The courts cannot grant you what you did not pray for. And that is why, in this instance, perhaps that informs why the Rivers State House of Assembly has gone to court to actually seek this prayer to stop payment of FAC allocation pending when the governor obeys the court judgment. Now,
pending the Supreme Court judgment.
This is a different. This is a different judgment. Issue. Listen, let's get it clear. The Supreme Court's appeal. The governor went to Supreme Court to appeal the judgment of the appeal court, which affirmed the judgment of Justice Omotosho and prevailed on him to present the 2024 budget to Martin Same.
Clearly.
Now, that's a different case altogether, because in that case, these bodies were not, part of the prayers of that case was not
among those bodies
stopping the CBN from paying FAC allocation. Nah, that wasn't part of the prayer. Here is the governor is challenging the judgment of Justice Omotosho, and he's challenging it because of two things. First, he has to present, the judgment says he should present the 2024 budget to Martin Same led House of Assembly.
Clearly.
And secondly, the fact that that judgment authenticated Martins Amehule
as a substantive House of Assembly
Speaker and the 27 others. These are the two major issues the governor has with that judgment.
Yes.
So let's get that clear. This is an entirely different suit, and this suit is asking the court to order these bodies to stop payment of FAC allocation to River State until and unless the governor does what has been clearly stipulated
in the judgment of Omotosho.
Judgment of Omotosho, and also upheld by the appeal court. Right. Now, part of the arguments the defendants have is that they should wait for the Supreme Court judgment. Now, this still brings me back to the first statement I made. Telling the courts to wait for the Supreme Court judgment, the matter is already in court. Is it not a different matter?
Yes, it is. I clearly get
so
what you
why would this suit wait? Why would it be suspended pending when Supreme Court gives judgment? This is an entirely different ball game altogether.
Yes. Okay, now I clearly get it, and that's why I also made a statement that Martin Samehule and his House of Assembly members should have gone to court immediately they saw the handwritings boldly written on the wall that the government of River State were not yielding to the judgment of Justice Omotosho. So they have left it, for me, they have left it too late to go to the court, though it will not be overtaken by event. Because any particular expenditure that is not, guaranteed
when you
within
say it will not be overtaken by events.
Yes.
Are we not almost there?
No,
because I mean, we have barely 2 months to the end of the year. That's on one hand. On the other hand, there have been sightings of the 2025 budgets, River State's appropriation bill. I mean, there are public sightings right now. The governor is leaving it open for the public to make inputs. And if that is what is going on, like the governor also said, you recall when Martin Samehule wrote to the governor, the River State House of Assembly wrote to the governor to present the 2024 budget. The governor did not actually answer them. However, in one of his public outings and relating with the press, he said that currently the River State is preparing the 2025 budget. By that statement, it means that that is already the 2024 budget is considered done and dusted with, and he's looking forward
in his own mind.
And he's looking forward to the 2025 budget. Now, this is why when you say it will not be overtaken by events.
But I will tell you why I said so.
All right, go ahead.
So why I said so is that from the analogy and your expose, you know, I don't have the right to control the mind of a man to think what he wants to think of. So the governor in his mind, as he alluded before, that he just gave the assembly members a floating space. You know, this is also the way I'm going to say it, that in his own mind, in the mind of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, he is saying that the 2024 appropriation bill has been done and dusted, and he's looking forward to 2025. There is no problem. And the Constitution clearly backs clearly makes it explicitly clear and backs the division of labor and clearly states the functions of the three arms of government. So no one interwovens with the other unless they just feel like working in synergy. Working in synergy does not mean that there are no checks and balances. And in this case, the governor will be preparing to shoot himself on the foot, because in the statement of the appeal court judges, they also alluded that the governor is committing a lot of constitutional infractions. And Martin Samuel had written to him on 2 occasions, reminding him of the gross misconduct that is being committed by his administration by refusing to adhere to the letters of the court pronouncements. So the governor will either he's not the alpha and omega of his own self. He's not the beginning and the end of his office. The Constitution has clearly put in the hands of the Assembly to checkmate the excesses of the executive. So in that case, if the governor likes, let him go ahead and do what the court have said. If he likes, let him not do it. The House of Assembly has the clear mandate of impeaching the governor. We are not missing words. Because if the governor has decided not to adhere to the tenets of the law and thinks he can act as a lord because he has an immunity, immunity is not preventing a governor from being impeached. Your immunity stops where you can be, you know, that somebody can institute a legal case against you, and maybe you will be, even if the court give an order for the governor to be produced in court, the immunity covers it. I think those lawyers around them should be teaching them what immunity clause means. Immunity clause did not say that you have become a lord, you are immune to death, you are immune to have a road crash, you are immune for the international community, Interpol, to look for you if you have committed an infraction that you are being sought after by the international committee. It is only within the Nigerian jurisdiction that you are immune from coming to answer. It is not even that you are being shielded, that law cases will not be filed against you. But for the sake of distractions, you will not be allowed to be dragged to the court. Well, those court cases will wait for you after your tenure. Max 8 years, you will be called to come and answer the questions for all those things. And in this particular case, Laurentia, the governor is not immune by immunity. Immunity clause does not say that the other arms of government cannot oversight you as a government. So whether the governor likes it or not, let him go ahead. But why I say they cannot be overtaken by event is that it's a fundamental government process for the lifetime of how the state is being governed, how much is being spent. Somebody must check the excesses of the expenditure of the common purse of the rivers people vis-a-vis other states. So the governor can go ahead and adhere to the one he wants, but at the end of the day, I've been sounding it on this show that let rivers people know it, that the governor is tying himself a rope that he might not be able to lose. At the end of the day, the House of Assembly will be called upon to do the needful. And when that needful is done, the governor will have nobody to blame but himself.
All right. Foremost youth group in the ruling People's Democratic Party has warned Rivers Governor Siminalayi Fubara and those he described as agents of Fubara in National Assembly. The group, known as PDP National Progressive Youth Initiative, in a statement Friday evening, specifically took a swipe on the member representing Idato North-South Federal Constituency of Imo State, Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere, for constant attacks on the person of Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Ugochinyere, an opposition lawmaker in the House of Representatives, has been on the forefront of campaigns against Wike while supporting Governor Fubara on virtually all his actions in Rivers State. The PDP warning was coming on the heels of Ugochinere's media outing 2 days ago, where he accused Wike of plotting to stop Governor Fubara from accessing state funds via court orders, which he alleged were being instituted by the APC and pro-Wike group. Ugochinyere was quoted as saying, "The APC and pro-Wike group, as I am speaking, is filing a suit at the Federal High Court to help them seize the allocation of the entire Rivers State. This is the second of such cases by the Wike group to bring about constitutional disorder. They have a pending case seeking to seize the entire Rivers allocation and local government funds they filed, and now they are using the Wike APC faction to file another suit seeking an order to stop the Federal Accounts Allocations Committee, while calling on President Bola Tinubu to prevail on his minister." But the PDP youth group, in a statement by Comrade Billy Matthew Wachuku, President, and David Tena Gondo, the Secretary General, lambasted Governor Fubara and Ugochinyere, saying the duo was afraid of due process, accountability, and transparency. The both entities have become scared of public accountability and blaming their inability to conduct a proper local government election that will satisfy elementary law. The PDP will no longer tolerate further attacks on the Minister of FCT, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, who is working day and night for the government and the people of Nigeria to succeed with his infrastructural drive in the FCT. The question we would like to ask is, why are Fubara and Ikenga running from pillar to pole, blackmailing the judiciary, the Minister of the FCT, and everything by everyone else except Fubara? It is high time we called on the good people of Idato Federal Constituency to beg their busybody and eye service lawmaker to focus on his job. Let him concentrate on why the people voted for him, and peradventure he is bereft of the logic of lawmaking. He should not pretend about it. He should admit his ineptitude and allow someone take his seat, the group said. The PDP youth group threatened to occupy the National Assembly complex if Speaker Tajuddin Abbas allows Ugochinyere further attacks or unparliamentary conduct against Wike, whom they described as a great asset to Nigeria and the government of President Tinubu. Ugochukwu, a lot has been said, but what do you have to say?
I concur with my brothers, the PDP youth, despite the fact that I'm not a card-carrying member of PDP, but I call them my brothers because of their position. I never, heard about this publication before I said what I said in the first leg of our discussion, that why accusing the judiciary and the Wike and Martin Samuel, they are making frivolous, publications which holds no water. And I wouldn't like to, glorify Ugochinyere Ikenga by, speaking much about him. I'm only waiting for a day he will either accept to come on ATN or Zoom. Let us begin to iron some issues out one after the other, and he will back it up with the letters of the law. Until that is done, I don't want to give him cheap publicity, no matter how little or cheap it might be. Someone that couldn't even win a local government election in his state, he wasn't even on ground. Did he know how a local government election was conducted in Imo State? He prized himself as an activist and a lawmaker. But election was held in his state. His people that voted him, he could not, at least Governor Eno was able to respect the senior president, Godswill Akpabio, and grant him his own local government, by giving it to APC. Then you are now talking of someone who even is not in the good books of the governor of Imo State, and who even is not playing the needed opposition in the state that has suffered from infrastructural decay. The road leading to his constituency is impassable. I'm not sure that Ugochinyere has visited his constituency since he was elected in the general elections of 2023, in the last general elections in Nigeria. So Ugochinyere should stop, insulting the sensibilities of Nigerians and his constituents by always trying to, garner cheap publicity by playing activism. What I see he's doing in Rivers State is not politics. He's just extending his activism and also getting his handouts from the governor's camp, because he who blows the fire, my people say, and you give some water to quench your throat, so that when the fire is off again, you can have energy to blow the fire. He's not doing this playing politics, because he has no one vote in Rivers State. Where his vote counts, he has not made the necessary input to reposition PDP after Ihedioha left. Ihedioha, and if you see the big wits, the soul and the heart of PDP has left in Imo State and looking for where to pitch tent. Ugochinyere did not even say a word surrounding what happened. The election was held in Imo State. Ugochinyere did not make any statement when his party, PDP, was awarded a paltry 50,000 votes in Imo State. He did not even join in during the electionary campaign. I don't want to begin to talk about him, because that will give him the needed cheap popularity he's seeking for. But be that as it may, those who has been calling the FCT minister names, does it stop him and the world from knowing that Nyesom Wike is a pillar that you cannot deal without? Nyesom Wike has become an institution. Nyesom Wike has become a name that people, because when people are looking for a way to pull you down, there is something within.
Well, then the question would be, you have talked about Ugochinyere not having locus to meddle in Rivers State.
No, he doesn't.
Politics, because he's not representing any constituency in Rivers State.
He don't even have a vote.
Now, all right. Now the question would be, what's the interest then?
No, the interest is what I've said. He's been given a handout. He's been given. He's playing the politics of stomach infrastructure.
Okay.
He's playing the politics of mixing politics with activism. That is why the PDP youths are reminding him that he is not doing what his people elected him for. They have educated him. So if he's a person of conscience, he will now begin to, rethink of why his people elected him. Because the oversight functions, his people are going through a lot. Insecurity in Imo State. The roads are impassable. He's not making any providing the needed opposition to hold the government of Hope Uzodimma to the jugular and to account. And now look at what those youths are saying. Both Ugochinyere and Fubara, they are afraid of people holding them accountable. What is governance? Bereft of accountability and transparency. If Fubara don't want to present the budget, not representation now, because some of those media stations that is saying representation, it is clearly stated by the judgment of Justice Omotosho, affirmed by the judgment of the Supreme Court, of the Appeal Court, that the budget of 2024 in Rivers State have not been presented. So there is nothing like representation of the Rivers State Appropriation Bill. It is the presentation, the first time it will be happening. So in this particular case, I will advise the Fubara administration and his crony in the person of Ugochinyere, Ikenga, to embrace transparency and accountability. And again, I join my forces with those of the PDP youths, which I've already said here, that those people who are calling Nyesom Wike name, Laurentia, it should be noted that when Nyesom Wike, stood and pulled down some of the institutional individuals we know in River State, who were positioned at Jocelyn to contest for the River State governorship election. Nyesom Wike was not an anti-party, it was not an anti-democratic personality. He was not the devil. He was not the person that has becoming a clog in the wheel of the progress of the John nation. Nyesom Wike was not called unprintable names because he stood his gap and said that, no, let me make this final analysis. Because these names that those boys are calling is becoming and unbecoming of the camp of the governor and somebody in the person of Ugochinyere to come and be calling the name of dragging the name of the FCT minister to the mall. Right. Somebody, when he stood his ground and made sure that one particular person picked the form and rallied around other people to give support to Fobara, he was not tagged an anti-democratic personality. He was not tagged an enemy of the Joe. But now, Nyesom Wike, who hitherto has brought that Messiah that River State people have been waiting for. Fobarana is a Messiah. He's democracy personified. He's giving the Rivers people the dividends of democracy. But who fish out Fobara? All right. That is $1 million question, and asking the camp of the governor of Rivers State, Fobara, right, and Ugochinyere. If they go into their closet and answer those questions, they will find it difficult to call Nyesom Wike and unprintable names. And those names that they are calling him have not made people of class not associate with him. Right. As you can see what happened last Saturday. All right, Ugochukwu. We need to move over to the next story. All right. Leaders of the All Progressive Congress in Anambra State have condemned President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's appointment of Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu as a minister's designate, calling it an anti-party action. They questioned the rationale behind the president's decision to appoint her without consulting party members. During an emergency meeting of the party stakeholders in Awka on Thursday, the APC leaders described the appointment as a gross violation of party loyalty that undermines the morale of their members. High Chief Bonti Onwibo, the Southeast Zonal Secretary of APC and a member of the APC Elders Forum in Anambra, who spoke on behalf of the stakeholders, voiced concerns that the president's actions do not foster loyalty within the party. He said, "This is nothing but an act of anti-party and it is detrimental. By empowering members of other political parties at the expense of the APC in Anambra State, Mr. President is not supporting party loyalty," he stated. Onwibo further questions the implications of the appointment, asking, "Does Mr. President want a mass defection of APC members in Anambra to the All Progressive Grand Alliance? Is he indirectly working for APGA in Anambra State?" He expressed that the situation is both unheard of and highly demoralizing, lamenting that the leadership in Abuja seems to be enhancing the fortunes of rival parties at the expense of the APC. Onwibo criticized APGA for monopolizing benefits from programs or empowerment schemes, which he claimed only served their members while taking credit for initiatives that should include all stakeholders. "This is a group that despises the APC and wants nothing to do with us. That Mr. President is encouraging them by making such appointments," he said. Onwibo announced that APC stakeholders have decided to formally present their grievances regarding these appointments to the state chairman, Chief Basil Ejidike, for submission to the National Working Committee and the National Executive Committee. Ugochukwu, what do you make of this story? I thought to a large extent there is a transition from politics now to governance. Ministerial appointment or not, is that not governance? Party men don't see it like that. Right. Party men, politicians don't see it. It is only in paper, and when the technocrats or we opinion mothers begin to look at the aims and objective of governance. But in no time do politicians and political parties see rewarding of technocrats, those who did not, hitherto support the party by either affiliation or by membership or by showing sympathy, to the particular party. And only when elections are won, you begin to now, the person in charge begin to, try to play politics, despite the fact that what the president is playing is politics in trying to, solidify his tentacles and trying to reach out to other people where he knew or he knows that the party is not fully on ground. Picking out personalities that can mobilize the people, even without making that open. People are already, falling in love and are naturally aligning with those particular personalities. Like in the person of Nyesom Wike, you wouldn't tell Nyesom Wike to come and campaign under APC. But what Nyesom Wike will do, because he has his own followers and his own, whatever arrangement and the sympathy he has for that particular personality, his followers follow suit. So in the case of Bianca, I laugh over it because those who are writing, those APC members in Anambra State who are making this allegation, they don't understand politics. And if I may ask a rhetorical question, what was the input of Anambra APC when the presidential election was conducted? So what has been their position since Ngige left in gaining any ground in Anambra State? What is their strength in the Anambra State House of Assembly? What is their strength in the local government in Anambra State? These are some of the things you check for a political party who is, we know they are registered, they are card-carrying members, those who want their own portion of the porridge, those who want to be oiled. But the center cannot oil you if you are not functional, if you are not there for the benefit of the party, so to say, that when it comes to the larger society or larger Nigerian political space, you are a force to reckon with. Hence, the former Minister of Labour and Productivity, in the person of Chris Ngige, has gone into comatose. He has gone into his cocoons after leaving the Muhammadu Buhari's administration, and given now the death of Ifeanyi Oba. I think APC, like I said in one of our shows, is already in comatose because their revival would have come with the cross-carpeting of Ifeanyi Oba to identify with them, but that particular vibe was short-lived. And then Bianca is not an orator, is not a political juggernaut, as it might say. He's a political figure in where I liken her to the articles of this world that stay in Dubai and do their politicking. Bianca is not going to stay in Nigeria, even if they are giving her the portfolio of Minister for State Foreign. Is not going to stay in Nigeria. You can't tie her down in Nigeria. So I am trying to wrap my minds around what will be the gain of APC in appointing Bianca Ojukwu in order to make a political statement with APC in Anambra State. But when you now look at the way the pattern of Nigerians vote these days, they don't vote the party. Nigerians are now beginning to vote the person and to now follow some personalities that they are looking at, that those personalities cannot lead us astray, or maybe because of the clout of those personalities, they tend to be tinting towards wherever they are going. So that is what might play out for an Ashewaju in appointing Bianca. But be that as it may, you also know that Bianca is a controversial figure in Anambra State. You remember the fallout between her and the wife of the former governor, Obiano. You also know the fallout and some factions of ABGA they are not aligning with her own ideology. So he's not going to fetch Mr. President anything in Anambra State. I can tell you that for free, because of her controversial nature, because she is not the person of enormous empathy. Bianca cannot outshine or begin to outclass the person of Obi, whose even personality and aura really, brings people towards him, and not really that he has to give her the cash or those. After all, Obi came with the mantra of I don't give sheshe, So Nigerians are looking at that person that they will send to the market. After buying the things, you come and give them account blow to blow or how the purchases are made. And if there is a balance, you tell them this is the balance and this is where we want to plug the balance. This is what the Nigerians are looking at. Nigerians are looking at those personalities that they will be available but not accessible.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The person of Adams Oshomole, be like him or not, when he was the president of NLC, Adams Oshomole said that what made him begin to play the activism of comrades is when Adams Oshomole puts that kake, he's accessible. He's not showing you that class where he is. But when he wears it and calls the market man and market woman, they look at him and say, oh, I can be with this person. But when you wear an oversized agbada and begin to wear an over-floating cap that is a one-story building high, people look at you and say that, oh, this person even doesn't feel what we feel. So when Bola Tinubu, who is strategizing for 2027, is making an appointment of a Bianca that even her aura will not even allow people to come to her. Bianca is miles away from the person of Ojukwu that married her. That should be stated clearly, because she is coming from a family of Ono who clearly, prize themselves within their own class. But Ojukwu in his person, is a person that was meant for the people. So I don't know the rationality for which the president has made this appointment, which will boomerang at the end of the day, because it's not going to make him get anything from Anambra State. And then finally, having appointed Bianca Ojukwu and having sacked some ministers are saying, Obayo Onanuga saying that they are relieved of their duties and not sacked. I don't know. They want to play with English language, but we know they are not on the saddle of their ministries again. That is the English I want to make use of. Then, if you have relieved other people of their duties, and there are some ministers that you have not heard from, the minister, I am so thankful that Mr. President had to let the Minister of Education go. Has to the Minister of Defense. I don't know what they
get to that story, but let's not go ahead of us.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, because one of the arguments or one of the reasons that the presidency put forward for dropping some ministers and appointing new ones was that to move the country forward, and they said they wanted to drop people that were not exactly delivering in their jobs. The question would be, with regards, because we are discussing Bianca right now,
yes.
Bianca Ojukwu has held several political appointments. The question would be, can you, Ifeanyi, speak of one or two concrete things that Bianca Ojukwu has done? Because one would expect that if the president is picking or selecting ministers, if he's dropping the people that he's sacking on the grounds of underperformance and on lack of productivity, one would expect that he would go for people that has track record.
Proven.
Tested and proven track record
yes.
of overperformance
yes.
or performance at its way, depending on the variables that you're going to use to categorize it. And the people who have proven to be productive in previous appointments, Right. Now, I know that Bianca Ojukwu has held some political positions, appointments in this instance, and I'm wondering, I don't know, you might educate me on this. What has Bianca Ojukwu been able to do with her political appointments? What influence has she wielded so far? What impacts has she made, you know, to say, okay, she is qualified for this particular appointment? You know, when you take a comparative analysis between Bianca Ojukwu and the Minister of Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Ohanenye, who was dropped. I'm trying to make it make sense. Can you make it make sense to me and other Nigerians?
Let me say immediately before, lest I forget, Uju Kennedy.
Yes.
She's a dramatist, while Bianca is not a dramatist. Yeah, she's a dramatist
because she's always engaging the social media.
She reminds me of them patient Jonathan. They have the similarities of their psychological leaning, you know, and their personality. So whenever I hear her or whenever she makes a statement, I become very amused. So they are not while Bianca is more of a docile person and the person of she allows her clout to speak for her. Though she lost it also when I made a statement when she had an altercation with the wife of the former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano. So this, all the positions she has held, I see them as a position of just compensation and allow her to be there just for the name of the husband and just appease the Igbo nation per se, you know, trying to, because our people have a saying that when you mention the name of the woman, you're mentioning the name of the husband. So this is what I see clearly. Right. And all the appointments she has held, she has really not performed because she has been the ambassador of Nigeria to Spain. She has had other diplomatic appointments, and which nobody scrutinizes her because of that.
The nature of the appointment.
No, not even the nature of the appointment. People think that once you are getting to, you know, talk about Bianca, you are demeaning the late Dim Chukwemeka Ojukwu.
All right.
People respect that name and whatever that name, that whatever is around that name. So I've not seen where people called her out, even when she was not doing too well in the Kingdom of Spain, and they now emerged with one other country. She was overseeing 2 nations then, and nobody called her, even after she was eased out of that particular appointment. There was nothing was heard about her. The media was not even bringing Bianca to the fore, and as if she was like a sacred cow. People dared not to, you know, demean or call her out because of the name that we go after Bianca Chukwemeka Ojukwu. So people see it as a no-go area. Again, if you ask me, like I've said, the president cannot gain any particular thing in terms of politics because Bianca is not she's a model. And in any appointment you give her, you could see her model style and her own character and her own demeanor begin to show there. Right. But if you ask me, a person in the character of Abike Eroa, Dabiri is clearly overshadowing all the people we have as ambassadors. That particular commission, that woman has made it, you know, that has gagged the voices of all the people that Nigeria is appointing as ambassadors to other nations. You know, maybe it's also what played out that really quietened the time she held, Bianca Ojukwu held sway as ambassador in that Spain. And this one that she's also a minister of foreign state, I don't know what input you make in trying to right the wrongs of the name that Nigeria has within the international community. Nigeria passport doesn't have weight, it doesn't have respect. Some of us have traveled with it. You will land to in a particular country, and other people will be allowed to go, and you might be there for hours when you will be scrutinized and all that. It is not showing. And I thought that Bianca would have used her position in Spain to really galvanize support for the Nigerian state, and also our people that are suffering there and those who are there illegally. They need to interface with those countries to have a soft landing for our people. But she didn't achieve that, especially the Igbo nation that we are nomads. The Igbo nation, we are nomads. And in this particular one, they are putting her now. I will be following her antecedents to know how she can really, better the relationship of Nigerians abroad and those who are also intending to travel.
All right.
Laurentia.
All right. You're talking of Abike Dabiri Erewa. She is the chairman of Nigeria in Diaspora.
Yes, she's doing a lot.
All right.
She's really doing a lot.
All right.
Yes.
Now, moving on to the next story, Caretaker Committee Chairman of the All Progressive Congress in Benue State, Benjamin Omale, says the party has set up a reconciliation committee to tour the 23 local government areas of the state to pacify aggrieved members. He assured that the leadership will ensure that its mandate of ensuring peace in the party in the state is achieved and members of the party come together as one family. The chairman made this known weekend when he hosted the caretaker leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Benue State Council, led by its chairman, Vincent Nyongu, at the state secretariat of the party in Makurdi. He noted that his committee had a 6-month mandate to ensure that peace returned to the party, emphasizing that the leadership was striving hard and taking every step and initiative to appease all aggrieved members. He commended Governor Hyacinth Alia for the good works he is doing in the state because under him, the state had witnessed transformative growth in the various sectors of the state. Earlier, Secretary of the committee, Professor Bem Angwe, passionately appealed to aggrieved members to sheath their swords, assuring that the committee was determined to ensure peace in the party. He also cautioned members against instigating crisis in the party and urged those involved to desist. Ugochukwu, yes. APC appears to have, strengthened their reconciliation, their system of arbitration and reconciliation, particularly ahead of each polls. Last time it was Edo State before the Gubai elections. And now Ondo State is faced with its Gubai election, and APC right now is closing up rank and file. They are mending fences so that they can enter the election, with one voice. And now Benue State is also doing same. What do you have to say to this?
This political party is a big family. To run it isn't easy because politics is an interest-driven game. The interest of everyone who must be carried along is not even something that any party stakeholder should toy with, because when you are allowing cracks within your circle, other parties are there to really push those people, And don't forget that in some of those crises have been instigated by implanting moves within those ranks. But I want to blame what is going on in Benue State. I want to bring it to the doorstep of the Secretary to the federal government, the SGF, the person of George Akume. Right. George Akume cannot be holding a position of that nature, and having been the governor of the state, cannot allow himself to be the distraction within his camp, knowing that the people voted, not that the APC is doing well, not that, the truth be told, not that the APC federal is doing well, not that the APC had done well in Benue State. Remember that under Muhammadu Buhari, they allowed APC members, they allowed Benue people to wallow through insecurity. You know, every week attacking, week in, week out, and people were killed and maimed, farmlands were deserted. This food crisis we are suffering now emanates from all those isolated crises that the federal government of Muhammadu Buhari were not able to nip in the bud. There was no conscious effort made to really, you know, help the people of Benue State. That warranted the former governor in the person of Otom to jump ship. Recall that Otom won his first tenure under APC. And when the people of Benue State knew that APC were not helping them, they just had to align with Otom. Otom, having seen the handwriting clearly on the wall that the federal government was not doing enough, decided to save his people. So that is what is happening now. If you have seen all those things that the people are crying, and you are now supporting the inflation of a lot of crises within the ranks of the party that is even not doing well, that people are not happy with the administration of whatever APC is doing. But the people of Benue State, given the enormous power and the influence that Kali Church wields in Benue State, that is where Father Governor Hyacinth Alia came in. Just like people of Taraba voted for the former governor in the person of Jolly Nyame then. So look at what is happening in Benue State APC, because the governor, the SGF want to take control of the state. But you have a sitting governor. And you know that this governor also is not a natural politician. Is not the traditional Nigerian politicians. And he knew that the people voted APC again, even when he came out with a party that I will call the wrong party for the people of Benue State. Laurentia, I don't know, I'm not saying that APC is the wrong party, but I'm saying, given what Benue people suffered under Muhammadu Buhari, nobody, even when I was following the process of election in 2023, I never knew that Benue people were going to vote for APC, given what they suffered. But because of the person, that's why I said Nigerians are no longer voting for the party, but they voted for the Catholic Church being represented by Father Hyacinth Alia. And now you are trying to destabilize the party. So I want to beg the SGF to jettison politics now. It is not what the Benue people are yearning for. Let them close ranks. Let them make sure that they have internal party mechanism of resolving their crisis, and let them resolve it once and for all. Let governance begin to take place, that the people may recover their livelihoods and become the food basket of the nation, as it were, Laurentia.
All right, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll go to Kano State and Periscope on their local government elections. Do not go away.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence. To forget this act, I thought that people that can lead of this minister and the government.
Give us access to our money.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I am.
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all your bits on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
country people. Mr. President, my people are on the sea.
I will place economic stability and confidence. Your propagandists are top of the lead of this minister and the government.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians believe now is not about the government. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. All Progressive Congress in Kano State says the Saturday local government elections being conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission is illegal. A chieftain of the party, Rabiu Bichi, made the remark in an interview with the press on Saturday in Kano. He said, the party's stance is informed by a court order by Justice Simon Amobede of the Federal High Court, Kano, which still stands and which has rendered the election null and void. The judge ruled that the leadership of Kansiek was partisan and biased towards the ruling New Nigeria People's Party in the state. Since the judgment has not been appealed, the APC considers any outcome of the election illegal. The APC chieftain also pointed to a recent Federal High Court judgment that squashed all NNPP chairmanship candidates for the election, which he said had further reinforced the party's claims that the election is illegal. He, however, urged all members of the party to exercise restraint and await the final outcome of the legal moves being made by the party to challenge the conduct of the polls. ATL reports that the Kansek chairman, Professor Sani Malumfashi, insisted that the commission is conducting its activities within the bounds of the law. Every activity of the commission is procedural. We are not partisan, he said. He stressed that all Democrats and advocates of democracy are expected to respect Friday's Kano High Court judgment, which authorized the election to proceed. Earlier on Friday, Kano State High Court number 15 affirmed Kansek's jurisdiction to conduct the Kano State local government polls scheduled to be held on Saturday, 24 October 2024. In his judgment, Justice Sanusi Ado-Maji stated that the applicants had successfully proved their case. Ugochukwu, what do you make of this? Now, it appears that there are judgments for and against. One, a state high court ruling in favor of Kansek to go ahead with the elections. And then, barely 24 hours to the local government polls, a federal high court, disqualified all the members, all the candidates of the NNPP. However, Governor Yusuf still went ahead with the local government elections. And guess what? These members, the 44 NNPP candidates that were otherwise disqualified by the court, emerged as winners of the 44 local government areas, and NNPP also cleared the 484 councillorship seats in Kano State. Go ahead.
This is drama because you could see it's not even sympathetic to even one political party to give out a local government.
NNPP won all.
That's what I'm saying. In River State and in Cross River State, they were so magnanimous in giving out or letting out one local government each to their sympathetic political party, as the case may be. But what happened in Kano is this. I will try to look at it from what happened in River State and the potency of the case instituted by the APC, led by the faction of Tony Okocha, when he held sway as the CTC APC chairman in River State. The potency of his case emanates from, inclusion of INEC in that particular suit, and the process leading to an election. Election is not an event. That's why I continue to describe what happened in Rivers State on the 5th of October 2021 as an event which lacked process accumulating into the finality of that. Electioneering process starts at least 4 to 3 months so that people know that there are lines and legs before the final day of the election, which is when the CX are expected now to carry out their own functions. But there are functions left for the political parties to be monitored by the CX, knowing whether it's in conformity with what the rules and the laws, as the case may be, is being followed. But what happened in Kano State, where I have not followed it very well, I don't know what the prayers of the APC in Kano State might be. I don't know what they elicited their prayers to go to the Federal High Court. If they did not include any of the federal institutions like INEC or the Nigerian police in their prayers to the Federal High Court, it is a nullity, because this is a state affair. And the Constitution has given the House of Assemblies the mandate to make laws for the good governance of the state. So unless there is, like what happened in Rivers State, that's why I painted the picture of what happened in Rivers State, unless in the prayers of the APC in Kano State, there is any of the federal institutions that were found wanting, or that is in breach or in affiliation to now conduct an illegal election in their own purview.
The judgment of the Supreme Court,
yes,
of the Federal High Court,
yes,
disqualifies NMPP members.
Now I'm coming to that.
You're mixing it up when you say it is the State High Court that empowered CANSEC to go ahead with the election.
Okay.
However, there is a different
You say
judgment.
This one happened on Friday.
The one of the State High Court, gave CANSEC power.
For the potency to go ahead.
Yes. Now, Federal High Court, there are two different judgments here.
Yes.
Federal High Court did not stop CANSEC from going ahead with the elections. The Federal High Court judgment disqualified the NMPP candidates.
So what's the prayer of the APC?
However, APC is saying that the election is illegal. And they said there is a subsisting court judgment.
That is the way I'm coming.
That is on one hand.
Yes.
Now, they also quoted the judgment of the Federal High Court disqualifying the 44 NMPP candidates. However, the governor still went ahead to conduct elections with this disqualified candidates. Yes. And they emerged as winner. Now, the question would be, Ugochukwu, the incessant disrespect of court judgment by governors in Nigeria, probably because they have immunity and cannot be held liable for whatever it is that they are doing while they are on seat. But isn't it at this point a culture? Isn't it worrisome that the judiciary will give an order or a judgment, and the executive at the state level will choose what to obey and what to not obey? Isn't it worrisome? Because, I mean, this was part of what played out in Rivers State. And this is also what is playing out now in Kano State.
Why I may not mix it up is this. There are 3 legs to the cases in Kano State. But why I'm saying I don't know the prayers of APC in Kano State in the first, in the subsisting judgment. That's where you didn't understand me clearly. I was reacting to the subsisting court case. That is why I said in that particular first case they instituted, what were the prayers? What elicited the prayers of APC going to court? That is the only thing that can nullify that particular election. But if it is about the Federal High Court nullified the candidature of NMPC members, I will tell you that for free, that one holds no water. You know why?
Okay,
it is
the
an
instance, the
yes.
one you spoke about the first time.
Yes.
The judge, Justice Amobede,
okay,
actually said that Kansiek was biased towards the NNPP. Do you understand? Kansiek was biased towards the NNPP. So now,
without any concrete, any mentioning of the what led to the Kansiek being biased. You cannot blanket
for want of time. We are not going to delve into all the prayers and all
I
things
understand,
that has
but
led
the
up to this
prayers
point.
is what gives the potency. That is what I'm trying to tell you. For there to be an appeal, or for there to be in the there is something I'm saying.
All
understand me? I say that now that the election has been done and dusted, for there to be an appeal that will now nullify at the end of the day, even if it gets to the Supreme Court, that at the end of the day, that election will be considered a nullity, is the potency of the prayers emanating from the lower court. The lines and the letters of what APC is praying as an infraction committed by Kansiek. That is what I'm trying to say. That is why I gave my example with what happened in Rivers State, where clearly the APC led by Tony Okocha, we saw the clear prayers they made, and which are potent enough to bite. Which are very potent to bite and bring down and rubbish whatever happened in October 5th, 2024. That is where I'm laying my emphasis on. If it is about the Federal High Court nullifying this...
Let me give you further clarity.
Yes, give me the clarity.
All right. The Federal High Court judged that Kansiek chairman and its members we are card-carrying member of a political party.
You can't substantiate that. You can those things. That is why I'm telling you that is just a blanket. It's an accusation.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. You are getting ahead of yourself. If I before when you make that statement, you just cast aspersion on the judge, because a judge will look at the merits of a matter before him. And a judge cannot give a judgment without, if you're claiming that somebody is a card-carrying member, it was substantiated in court. So you are here saying you don't know the details of the matter. I am furnishing with the details of the matter, and you're saying I cannot substantiate that.
No, I mean the people who went to court.
That went to court and was substantiated, and it was on that basis that the judge gave his judgment, and now said that
the first
these
instance,
people, the judge fired Kansiek chairman and the Kansiek members.
Okay.
He fired them and said that they are card-carrying members of a political party. And I think some of the members were not up to the level. I think in civil service you have to be up to level 16 or so.
Before you
and some of the members were not up to that level
to hold such offices.
To hold such offices as state electoral
officers.
Yes. And the judge, in his wisdom, having looked at the matter before him and the evidences before him, gave judgment. Now, on one hand, it has been established by the court that the Kansiek chairman and the members are card-carrying members of a political party, and that made them biased towards that party, and the judge fired them. Now, another judgment fired the NNPP chairmanship candidates. However, a lower court said that the Kansiek had the powers to conduct elections. And the governor chose to go with that, and the Kansiek chairman, of course, from his statements, chose to go with the judgment of the lower court.
Can I come in?
Yes, I'm sure now you are furnished with the details.
I'm furnished with the details. The details for me, it does not hold water. Do you know why it does not hold water? Kansiek, let's remember, is within the jurisdiction of the governor and his powers to appoint and send to the House of Assembly to screen. And those people are conducting election in Kano State. Let's just, you see, this particular, I am so grateful that you have laid out the meat. This is the problem that the camp of the governor in Rivers State is having. The cases that have merit in different courts. A case that have merit in federal high court, he will run to the state high court. At the end of the day, the question of jurisdiction comes into play and makes a nuisance of the whole thing. Why will APC institute a case bordering on CANSEC to the federal high court when you're dealing with matters within the state? Does that federal high court have the jurisdiction to entertain such matters? This is one. This is one, because everything you're talking about is Kano State, and those appointed are civil servants in Kano State. The governor can decide to the state civil service commission can promote her members at will. They can also retire people can retire and also take appointments. This is within the purview of the state. It is not federal. Loresha, be taking note of what I'm saying, so that at the end of the day, I want to know why the APC in River State, if there is no federal organ that they are attaching to this suit that made them go to the federal level, to the federal high court. That is where my point is going. And if it's coming to the second leg, that maybe the primaries or how the NMPC handled their own primaries, it is not for the courts to decide. It is only someone who is an aggrieved member who contested that particular primaries within the party that has the locus to go and challenge the outcome of whatever shenanigans that political parties have done. Matter. Yeah, but I'm just saying
Hold on, the police were and other security agencies which were federal institutions.
We are involved.
We are also involved in this matter. In fact, let me read the judgment to you.
Okay.
So you get more clarity. Federal High Court sitting in Kano has disqualified the chairman and members of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, CANSEC, from conducting the scheduled local government elections in the state. The court ruled that the CANSEC chairman and other members of the commission are card-carrying members of the ruling New People's Party and also are not civil servants above grade level 14. This is coming barely 4 days to the local governments, the Kano State local government elections scheduled for October 26 on Saturday. The court, presided by Justice S.A. Amobede, made the declaration while delivering judgment in a suit filed by Aminu Aliyu Tiga, an All Progressive Congress member, against CANSEC, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Haruna Isa Dederi, and 14 others. According to him, the defendants, being card-carrying members of the New Nigeria People's Party and in partisan politics, contrary to Section 197, subsection 1B and Section 200, subsection 1A of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and Section 4 of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission Law 2001, are not qualified to be chairman and members of the defendants, CANSEC, in this instance. Yes. The judge further ruled that Kabia Zakirai, the secretary of the commission, not being an officer in the Kano State Civil Service, not below the rank of director prior to his appointment as secretary of the commission, is not qualified to be appointed to the position pursuant to Section 14 of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission Law 2001. The judge added that the first defendant, CANSEC, whose composition of members was made in contravention of constitutional provisions of Section 197, subsection 1B and Section 200, subsection 1A of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and Section 4 of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission Law 2001, cannot validly and competently conduct local government election 2024 in respect of 44 local governments in Kano State until and unless qualified persons are duly and legally appointed as chairman and members of the commission in line with relevant extant laws. Justice Amobede further ruled that whatever the commission did or has done or is doing in preparation of 2024 local government election in Kano State such as issuance of election guidelines, circular screening of candidates, sale of nomination and expression interest forms, whichever and howsoever, are null and void and of no effect whatsoever.
Okay.
The defendants are forthwith disqualified and removed from their positions as chairman and members of the commission. The first defendant, Kansiek, is forthwith restrained from conducting 2024 local government election in respect of 44 local governments in Kano State until and unless qualified persons are duly appointed. The defendants are mandated forthwith not to participate and monitor the conduct of the local government election 2024 in Kano State. And until the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and sections 4B and 14(1) of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission Law 2001 are fully complied with in the appointment of qualified persons as chairman and members of the first defendant. Justice Amobede directed the police and other security agencies to forthwith ensure full compliance with the ruling. I hope this is clear enough for you.
Yeah, they will go on, the NMPP will go on appeal, is subject to appeal, and the whatever evidence or findings APC presented is subject to be investigated and it is left to be found out whether those infractions are true or not. Then until that happens, it is still left for the courts to take the final decision. But what has been happening in Nigeria, the Kano State government has not been an exception. They have gone ahead with their elections, and until otherwise stated, they have chosen what to...
Which still brings up back to the first question I asked, which I said it's a concern and actually a menace right now, where the executives of states across the federation choose not to obey court orders or court judgments, as it were, or they choose to go for the orders that suits them.
You know, when a particular character or when a particular behavior, you know, is allowed to fester, it becomes a norm.
Okay.
We are sitting here today, we are trying to say it should be done this way, just like some of the Nigerian leaders, when they leave office, they begin to see it clearly and see it right. You understand? So when they see it, they begin to see it clearly. But I tell you for free, this didn't start today, and with the powers that the governors will, and the necessary tinkering of those, you know, conflicting portions of the Constitution have not been touched. You see the kind of amendment to the Constitution they do, the ones that favor them. They're not looking at those nitty-gritty, but the governors are drawing their powers and whatever they are doing inherent in the Constitution. Because the Constitution has, Section 7 has stated how they look, the House of Assembly is empowered to make laws for the good governance of the state. Whatever you describe as good governance.
Whatever the laws, whatever, you know,
that is what they do.
The Constitution also said, clearly, it's explicit, that no other law or constitution is supreme to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yeah. So when state houses of assembly makes laws that are not in alignment with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it can be challenged in court.
Yes,
and it can be made a nonsense of.
It can only happen that way if they are the sex are also drawing their powers through the Electoral Act as amended. But you now understand that they are making their own laws.
The judge also drew his judgment from the Constitution, 1999 Constitution as amended, and from the Kano State Local Government Law number 4 as well, which means the Kansiek Constitution, the
Kano State,
the Kansiek Constitution in this instance, the chairman and the members that constitutes the Kansiek in this instance, you know, the constitution of these Kansiek officers are not in line with Kano State Electoral Commission law.
From
what the judge has said,
the judge is
not
praying.
In line.
The
judge cannot pray.
No, the judge is making his ruling based on what has been furnished with, is it not? That those people were not qualified, say so to say. And then he now went to the constitution and the Kano State constitution and the Kano State law, which establishes the Kansec, and then made his rulings, is it not? Then when those people go on appeal, they will now also present those allegations that have laid against those officers to the higher court, and they will now look at the merit and the dismerit. Because that is why
this still brings us back to the first question. That it is taken to the appeal court, and appeal court gives judgment. It's not a guarantee that Governor Yusuf will obey it. Just like other governors.
That is why I said this issue, Laurentia, did not start today. And we have not, the National Assembly are only doing frivolous amendments.
All right.
These biting and conflicting amendments, Seko, are the ones that we ought to have, you understand?
Yes.
Looked into, and then we begin to nip those things in the bud.
All right, Ifeanyi Chukwu. It's interesting times ahead in River State, interesting times also ahead in Kano State. I will keep you updated as the news develop and it breaks. Thank you so much, Ifeanyi Chukwu, for coming on Open Air. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you, and I urge the Nigerian governors not to be ruling as if they are lords, not to be doing it as it has done before. Let them learn to do it better.
All
we
right.
can correct it from now.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers, and this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Air. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ogu Laurentia. See you same time tomorrow. Bye for now.
As always said, there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the coward and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough